This film is brought to you by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of the NFL's team highlight films. New York Life, the company you keep. The uniforms and faces have changed over the years, but the spirit and pride associated with the Atlanta Falcons has remained a constant. The Fighting Falcons have waged battles on NFL playing fields for nearly a quarter of a century, and they enter their silver anniversary season knowing their past is full of special moments and special men. From Junior Coffee to The Wheel, to the Cannonball, to Art Malone, Atlanta established early and has maintained a tradition of great ball carriers. Atlanta has had its share of success on the ground over the years. This franchise would settle for nothing less. But the Falcon is meant to fly, to soar. And since 1966, Atlanta airways have been flooded with footballs.
Back, they're coming after him. Miller gonna throw a long bomb. Touchdown!
Intimidating, aggressive, attacking. All characteristics of a Falcon defense that at times has been one of the NFL's most frightening. With relentless linemen, bruising linebackers, and thieving secondaries, Atlanta's defenses of the past have set standards for the men of the present and the future. Standards that will be met head on. As the Falcons journey into the 90s, they can be optimistic about what lies ahead, for it will be based upon a past full of sheer excitement.
Billy Johnson will field this one.
Deion drifts to the left, takes it on the 32, dropped it. Picked it up, one man missed him, another man missed him. Now he's going wide off to the right.
Johnson off to the races down the left sideline.
My God, Deion Sanders is going to score. My God.
Touchdown, Atlanta! Here comes McLucker. The 37-yard field goal attempt. They're not going to do anything but kick the football.
Going to try a long field goal. McFadden, long.
Kick by Luckers, down its way.
Good!
It is good! Luckers, the Falcons win it!
Atlanta Falcon football fans, it gives me a tremendous amount of pride and pleasure to present to you at least my man of the hour, Atlanta Falcon head football coach, Norb Hecker.
My biggest job now, of course, is to assemble a staff, which I intend to start on immediately.
First choice, first round, our newest member, the Atlanta Falcons.
I think we're going to have to concentrate on youth.
Atlanta selects Tommy Nobis, linebacker, University of Texas.
Selecting one of the game's great linebackers to anchor the defense isn't a bad way for a franchise to begin. Tommy Nobis would prove to be the heart and soul of the early Falcons, and before his illustrious career ended, he would appear in 5 Pro Bowls. But before Nobis enjoyed most of his success, he and his new teammates had to experience the usual communications problems associated with a fledgling franchise. 1966 was full of tough times for the Falcons, but it was also full of firsts, like the first touchdown, a 53-yard Randy Johnson to Gary Barnes strike, and the first win, a 27-16 triumph over New York, where Johnson found Ernie Wheelwright twice for scores. Atlanta would win just 4 times in its first 2 seasons, but in '68, a new coach would arrive and would leave a lasting impression on Falcon football.
Come on over here, Wabash. We get 3rd and 3. You always want to get the what first? 3 yards. Don't turn sideways now.
Yes, sir.
You know, turn upfield now.
All right.
Turn, see?
Yes, sir.
I mean, I can't tell you how to run, except when we got to have the 1st and 10, we get that first, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's take the $1.98 and wait for the home run later.
All right.
All right, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Norm Van Brocklin expected a lot from his players. And with men like Jim Cannonball Butler leading his offense, he often received much in return. Harmon Wages was another money player who caught Van Brocklin's interest. Wages' 66-yard run here against New Orleans is still the longest in club history. While Butler, Wages, and All-Pro offensive tackle George Coons carried the Falcons on the ground, quarterback Bob Berry and reliable tight end Jim Mitchell did it through the air. Defensively, Van Brocklin counted on men like number 71 John Zook and 6-time Pro Bowler number 87 Claude Humphrey. These men became heroes to Falcon faithful and helped lay the foundation for Atlanta's first winning season. 1971 also marked the Falcons' first primetime win and first win over the Green Bay Packers. On a Monday night in November, the Cannonball went crazy and led Atlanta to a 28-21 win. And when rookie Ken Burrow had his second 190-yard receiving game of the year in a win over New Orleans, Atlanta had a 7-6-1 record. 1972 marked another Falcon milestone as Dave Hampton passed the 1,000-yard rushing mark. Unfortunately, on his second-to-last carry of the season, he lost 6 yards and wouldn't see 1,000 again until 1975. Hampton was, however, a big part of the '73 team, a team featuring quarterback General Bob Lee, who orchestrated a win over the 9-0 Minnesota Vikings and performed one of the most memorable plays in Monday night history. In Norm Van Brocklin's final full season as Falcon head coach, Atlanta would finish with a then club record 9 wins.
The 40th annual National Football League selection meeting is now in session. First choice, first round, Atlanta Falcons. The choice
For the second time in club history, Atlanta had the first pick in the NFL draft.
First up.
And for the second time, that pick would have a lasting impact on Falcon football.
Atlanta Falcons select Steve Bartkowski, quarterback, University of California.
The mid-'70s marked the beginning of a period of change for the Atlanta Falcons. And most of that change would be built around the right arm of Steve Bartkowski. 1975 also saw the acquisition of wide receivers number 84 Alfred Jenkins and number 89 Wallace Francis. With this talented tandem catching passes for years to come, Bartkowski would go on to set nearly every club passing mark, and the Falcons would go on to become one of the league's most explosive teams. By 1977, the Falcons were ready for more positive changes. One was the hiring of Eddie LeBaron as general manager. The other was the hiring of a new head coach.
Good leadership is important in every type of endeavor. It's extremely important to be a great leader when you're the coach of a professional football team. You have to meld a diverse group of people together, build that winning spirit. We believe we have that type of person in Lehman Bennett.
One of the first things Bennett did as leader of the Falcons was employ a young defensive coach by the name of Glanville.
Run, oh, good hit, Charlie. Run, 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 run. Charlie, oh my gosh. Can you believe that was Charlie?
With new coaches and a new attitude, the 77 Falcon defense went on to become one of the greatest in NFL history. Nicknamed the Grits Blitz, this group gave up just 129 points the entire season, still an NFL record. With men like Jeff Merrill, Mike Lewis, Jim Bailey, and Claude Humphrey leading the line, Greg Brazina and Fulton Kuykendall heading the linebackers, and Ray Brown and team MVP number 22 Roland Lawrence anchoring the secondary, Atlanta went on to record 42 sacks and 48 takeaways. While Atlanta's defense led the 77 team to a 7-7 record, it was the 78 team's ability to find a way to win that became its trademark. There was Tim Mazzetti's 5 field goal performance in a 15-7 win over LA. Then there was perhaps the most hair-raising play in Falcon history, Big Ben.
So the Falcons will have to go 57 yards. 3 wide receivers, they're all on the right side. Bartkowski with a snap, drops the throw. Clock is running now, down to 17, throws long. Everybody's down there. The Saints look like they're there. There's the ball in the air. Jackson catches it. Touchdown, Atlanta. Unbelievable. The Atlanta Falcons have come from behind with 10 seconds to go in the ball game. They are wrestling in the end zone, and the Falcons have taken the ball game with 10 seconds to go. Whoa! Could have believed it.
Who'd have believed the Falcons would make the playoffs? But there they were, trying to win their first postseason game in dramatic fashion.
To go. They're going to have to start going for pay dirt in a moment. Bartkowski, Eagles blitzing. He throws long. Jackson's there. Touchdown! Francis! It's Wallace Francis! Wallace Francis has caught the touchdown pass with a minute 39. This crowd is dancing in the seats.
Atlanta would have its season ended by Dallas the next week. But the tradition of winning and finding improbable ways to win was just beginning.
Long count. Oh! It's over Ertzlaben's head. It's at the 10. It's at the 5. Anybody scores wins. Ertzlaben running. He throws the ball. It's caught in the air. Touchdown Atlanta. Falcons win. Unbelievable!
1979 marked the continuation of minor miracles, and it also marked the arrival of a pair of the greatest runners in Falcon history, Lynn Kane and number 31, William Andrews. Andrews would gain nearly 6,000 yards in his Falcon career, and he would be a vital member of the most successful team in club history. The 1980 Falcons were a perfect blend of all the changes that had been made over the last 5 years. They were a team that relied on an explosive offense, a stingy defense, and last-second heroics.
They're blitzing, and they get him! And it's fumbled. It's picked up by Atlanta. Joe Williams, touchdown, Atlanta. Here it is, 4th and 11 at the Falcon 46. Bartkowski back to throw. He's going long. He's got Jackson. He catches it. Falcons win 13-10. Bartkowski gets the Ray Strong wants to sweep to the right side. Gets a block inside the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Ray Strong.
Ray Strong's overtime touchdown in St. Louis kept alive a winning streak that eventually would reach 9 games and would end with a club record 12th win, the most important win in Falcon history.
The red wave is washing ashore here in Atlanta Stadium today. Bartkowski's going to go long. He's looking for Francis. He catches it at the 40. He's going to go all the way. 10, 5, touchdown! Montana's going to throw. Falcons have a 4-man rush on. Fumble! They're going after the ball. Al Richardson has fallen on it in the end zone.
It's been a while.
Yep.
I guess they think we're for real now, huh?
What a joyous moment it is in Atlanta, Georgia. The Falcons' first ever NFC Division Championship. So Atlanta's got to dig in here. Falcons stacked in tight. Perry over the top when he got the first down. Glazebrook comes out of the file with a football. Glazebrook.
After finishing second in the NFC West in 1981 but failing to make the playoffs, Atlanta kicked off the '82 campaign with the second longest defensive touchdown in club history. Bob Glazebrook's 91-yard score is second only to Tom Pridemore's 101-yard interception return. But it was the Falcons' longest offensive play of '82 that led them back to the playoffs.
Bartkowski under some pressure, swings it out. The wide open man's William Andrews. He gets across at 20, 25. William Andrews breaks away, 40. He's at midfield. Denver territory, 30-yard line. William Andrews is going to go the distance.
Can you believe that run? Was that one of the great runs of all time?
William Andrews was one of the greatest Falcon performers of all time. But in 1982, a rookie running back arrived who would go on to become Atlanta's all-time ground gainer and break most of Andrews' club rushing marks. In his 7 seasons with the Falcons, Gerald Riggs rushed for nearly 7,000 yards, and he was part of a new group of men who would excite Falcon fans for much of the early '80s. And when it came to excitement, the Falcons had one of the NFL's most dazzling players of all time in number 81, Billy White Shoes Johnson. It's hard to say whether Johnson will be remembered best for his stylish punt returns, his new wave dance steps during end zone celebrations, or his heroics during Big Ben again, a play that could only take place under a full moon.
So now they've got to go to the end zone with 2 seconds left.
Are we talking Hail Mary?
I would say right here you've got to go to Billy White Shoes and let him do a little dance with the ball and try to go for the end zone.
Bartkowski to throw. He is going long down the near sideline. It's going to be a jump ball, and it is pulled down by Billy Johnson. Johnson inside the 10, 5. He is down. He is. Give it to him. He's in. Touchdown. Touchdown Atlanta. Big Ben left, and it worked. Billy Johnson.
Johnson's textbook touchdown was the first in a series of last play heroics that would give the Falcons 2 memorable wins in a 2-week span in 1983.
Final play of the half. Airing it out down the right side. He's got Bailey out there. And Bailey made the catch. He's in. It's a touchdown. And lightning strikes twice in 2 weeks.
Lightning struck twice in 2 weeks, but cornerback Kenny Johnson was even more explosive, striking twice in the same game.
Waits over the middle. It's intercepted by Kenny Johnson. Johnson 20. Johnson down the left sideline. He is in. It's a touchdown. Kenny Johnson. 2 interceptions. 2 touchdowns.
Johnson's score gave Atlanta a 47-41 win in a game it had trailed 21-0, and continued to prove that if the game isn't done, neither are the Falcons' chances to win it.
Boy, Dixon. He's got it. Dixon to the 15, the 10, the 5. Dixon to the 4-yard line. 23 seconds to go. Falcons down by a point. Snaps clean. Kick on its way. The kick is good.
This 1986 win was yet another chapter in Atlanta's history of storybook endings. But 1986 also was the end of a career for one of the Falcons' all-time greats. After 18 seasons, center Jeff Van Note retired, leaving behind him a legacy of dedication and service. Van Note, along with perennial Pro Bowlers Mike Ken and Bill Fralick, likely will be the measuring sticks with whom all other Atlanta offensive linemen will be compared. Van Note is as big a part of Falcon history as anyone, just like quarterback Chris Miller and running back John Settle look to be a big part of Atlanta's future.
Lying in motion, Miller back, they blitz him, Miller rolls back, dumps it to Settle, screen, complete, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, in the corner, touchdown!
In his first 3 seasons, Chris Miller has shown flashes of brilliance, and with young receivers like number 85, Sean Collins, and number 81, Michael Haynes, Miller looks poised to lead Atlanta's offense into the 90s.
Fires a bullet complete on the 12-yard line. Touchdown!
With 3 of the first 27 picks in the 90 draft, Atlanta might add to a young defense that features men like Casillas, Cotton, Bruce, Sanders, Green, Case, and Tuggle. And with a new coach returning who always was a Falcon fan,
Come on, Atlanta.
the future for Atlanta is sure to possess more unforgettable memories.
Come on, Atlanta. Big Ben, Big Ben, Big Ben.
Falcons' last play. Man, can get blood pressure problems with this stuff. Miller with 2 men slotted left. Put a man in motion. Miller comes back, looking, and decides to go with a long bomb. There's a man open in the corner. Touchdown! I'm not believing what I just saw.